Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therightfear.com here, back today with another daily crypto update. In this video, as per usual, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Neo, Ripple, and Vertcoin, and I'm also going to be adding 3 more cryptocurrencies to my daily crypto updates, which are going to be Monero, OmiseGO, and Lisk, okay? So we're going to get into that in just a second, right, with a more detailed technical analysis on all of those. But really quickly, let me just go over what's been going on, with the general market and the altcoins. And you know what we've been seeing in the past couple hours. As per usual, if you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet and you want to, go check out Coinbase. I have a link in the description below. I use them myself. They're not a sponsor, and you can get $10 free worth of Bitcoin when you sign up. So go check them out. Now, what's been happening with the general market here in the altcoins in the past couple hours? Well, it's actually looking pretty bullish. Yesterday there was definitely some fear in the market, like I said, and it wasn't looking great for multiple altcoins, at least out there. It was looking like they could see a pretty ugly pullback, but things are looking better now, which is good. We got a bounce. Some of them are still red, but overall, it's looking pretty decent. And the important thing to notice is that most of these cryptocurrencies now really seem to be following Bitcoin and its price movement, because you'll see in the technical analysis, Bitcoin bounced, it moved back up now to 5,900. Ethereum and Litecoin did the same, right? But they also fell with Bitcoin when it was falling, and there was some fear with Bitcoin, so Ethereum and Litecoin also kind of got a side effect from that. So basically what I'm trying to say is the cryptocurrencies right now really seem to be following Bitcoin's price action, right? Which, for better or for worse, I would have liked to seen the altcoins get a bit of a stronger bounce, but now it's looking pretty decent. It's looking like things are going to move back up. It's nothing to worry about, right? But it's just something that you should be aware of, that they do seem to be following Bitcoin's price action pretty similarly for now. So let's get right into Bitcoin here. What's been going on in the past couple hours? Well, as you can see, we bounced really nicely off this middle band over here, right? This brown line. Now what we're going to be looking for is if we can, continue to move up and break this high right over here of 6,189, right? And the reason for that is if we're able to do that, we'll have made a higher high and also a lower low, right? So we'll continue this bullish uptrend and pattern over here. So that would be, of course, the bullish confirmation. It is possible that we reach these levels and get some consolidation. But right now, Bitcoin seems to have some strength behind it. It's looking like it wants to move back up. That's good, right? Now, a couple of things that changed on the indicators. We now have a bit of an uptrend going. So we're going to see if this one can hold and if we can move back up above the 70 range. As far as the MACD goes, we had crossed over, which is obviously bearish. Now what we're going to be looking for is, can we get, a bit of a bounce and crossover? Now, we could get something like this, right, where, as you can see, we had gotten a bit of a pullback and then crossed over, but then we did fall back down. That might be what will happen here, right, where we get pretty much the exact same thing. It's looking pretty likely based on the overextension that we have. That could definitely be possible. We did actually make a new higher high here, but we did fall back down. There was a bit of a pullback, right, which is definitely possible because, as you know, I have been talking about the fact that it does seem kind of almost likely that we sort of retest the 5,000/4,900 level just once, to get a healthy pullback so we can really continue to move higher without any need to go and test those levels again, if that makes sense. But overall, Bitcoin looking pretty good here for at least the short term, right? It does have some upcoming forks, which might recreate some drama and some fear. But in the short term, it's looking like it's going to move back up. Presumably, the general market as well, as it seems to be following Bitcoin, like I said. I've got some requests to zoom in a bit more, so I'll make sure to do that. Litecoin is continuing its move in this inner triangle that I drew. MACD still looking decent here. Histogram looks like it might start to move over now. MACD still not looking great. We do want to see that starting to turn over as well. The RSI is really came back and is touching now our uptrend line, which we really want to see it get back into the symmetrical triangle range. And as far as the actual price action, as far as the price action goes in the candlesticks, we also got a bounce off our uptrend line, which wasn't looking likely yesterday. It is struggling a bit to break above this middle band, which is something that we do want to see, right? Currently at 57.37. So that's something that this brown line, right? It is facing some resistance there, and that's going to be our main level of resistance to pay attention to, and that we want to see this break over. It has some consolidation going on right here, right? Very, very short candlesticks. I think we're going to see a break, right? Either to the upside or the downside, but we're going to see a pretty big break soon, I think. So we're just going to have to wait and see for that. Right now, it does have a little bit of a very short-term, it does have a little bit of a very short-term uptrend going on if you pay attention, right over here. So we're going to see if this can hold and it can move up like this, okay, and then break above the downtrend line, which will be very bullish if that happens. Like I said, though, now that Bitcoin is seeing a bit of a bounce, Litecoin is seeing a bit more strength as well, okay? So let's move over to Ethereum now. Okay, so Ethereum, more or less continuing its move upward now. Let me draw that very shorter term uptrend line as well for Ethereum. So that's going to be this line right over here now that we have in the making. And, you know, for now it's holding that, which is good. Bit of a doji, you know, as well. Very flat candlestick over here. So we'll want to see it break above in the very short term, the high of 300 right over here on this candlestick. And you know, that'll definitely be a bullish indication, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the next couple days to see a continuation to the move higher, you know, lower lows, higher highs. And MACD now starting to turn over a bit. You know, it's flattening out. Histogram is definitely moving back up now, which is good. And the RSI is looking decent. It's in the symmetrical triangle, but we're still moving up nicely here. So we're going to see if we can eventually break past that. Let's see what's been going on with NEO. It was looking pretty good yesterday, despite the red that was in the market. So a lot of consolidation here as well, right? It seems like it was going to test the MACD and kind of rejected that. It's now moving a bit back downwards. We're still uptrending on the MACD. You know, it really seems to, like I said, you know, it's been testing the up-down trend line a lot over here. And this is reflected, of course, on the MACD, where you can see that it's really trying to cross over, but it's just not getting that push that it needs. Still looking okay on the RSI, but we are moving now towards this this uptrend line, which we could possibly break. Right now, we're just going to have to see which side will want to break as well over here, right? Because it is as well in a symmetrical triangle formation. Now, a bit of a doji candlestick, so, you know, it's going to have to make a decision here on where it's going to go. For now, it's really looking 50-50, to be quite honest, right? It's either going to break this area right here of like 24.87 and move lower, or, you know, it's really going to break this uptrend line. Now, the one thing that I will say is, even though it's looking pretty uncertain as of right now, the fact that it tested and rejected this downtrend line so many times is not the best sign, right? It means that it's just unable to, and this rejection of the MACD is also not pretty, because it shows that, you know, as well, it's really struggling to get a breakout. And the more times that happens, the more time it's actually going to fail it and really come back down, right? On the plus side, though, I will say that, you know, it is possible that it just needs some kind of more bullish news in the market, and that'll give it its push to really break out of the downtrend, right? But for now, it's still looking very uncertain for NEO, and it could really go 50-50. Pretty much dead center consolidation right here for NEO. Moving on to Ripple now. Let's see. Not the prettiest price action for Ripple. Now, we are moving back up on the histogram, which is definitely bullish, something that we haven't seen in a while now for Ripple. Downtrending our MACD here is actually, well, it was pretty overextended and does seem to be coming and hooking back up now, which is going to be very bullish if that happens, and if we can get back into this uptrend as well. Same thing with RSI. It's looking like it does want to move back into the high range, but it could fail that. A bit early to tell. As far as the candlesticks go in the price action, we did break out of this downtrend here, like I drew on this line right over here. The Bollinger Bands are very expanded right now, which is actually something that I like to see, right? That means that there's room to move up. There are a couple bearish signs as well, though. You know, this the middle band is looking like it wants to move down a bit, and we are below it, so that's definitely going to be some resistance. And then we have a little bit of a double top going on right over here, right? Where it's really struggling with this resistance level of, you know, about 21 cents. So that's something that we are going to want to see really a nice break above. And for now as well, just a lot of consolidation. We'll really want to see where it makes a more concrete decision, because right now it's just a bit too flat to tell, right? But at least right now it did catch itself back, you know, after this pretty ugly move downwards, and you know, it could definitely see a bounce here. It's good that it didn't keep on crashing, because, you know, just a couple days ago it was looking like it might go and test like the 15-cent range, which it didn't do. So, you know, that's great for anyone who's holding Ripple. Moving over now to Monero. This is one that I haven't done yet, and talking about consolidation, this is one that's been consolidating in an extremely tight range now for quite a while, which, you know, it's not bullish or bearish. It is what it is. Now, what I will say is, if you look back now, this is interesting. This is sort of a similar price action, right? Where we got, our run up and then pull back down to around the middle band. And this run up and then our pull back down to, it didn't touch the middle band, but near the middle band, okay? So my instinct here would say that this consolidation is actually going to be a good type of consolidation where it's actually just to strengthen a base and get a support level in and then move higher, right? This is what this one is looking like to me right now, okay? Now, as far as the indicators go, it does seem to be looking like the MACD wants to cross over, but, like I said, it's very range bound right now. So that's a little bit insignificant. It's obviously like a bullish sign, but it's as long as we don't see a clear break of some of these resistance levels, that's really what we want to see, right, to make a clear decision. As far as the MACD goes, the RSI, it's also just trading very flatly in a range, right? Now, as far as the candlesticks go, Doji candle as well here today, and pretty much we do have a little bit of a short-term uptrend, and we did break out of, this shorter-term downtrend, so that's good. Now, what we're going to want to see is, we don't want to see something like what happened here, right, where we did break out of the shorter-term downtrend, and then we had a bit of an uptrend, but it was just, it failed at this resistance level right here. Right? What we want to see is going to be to really get a nice breakout above, the high of today, obviously, which is, let's see, 92.99, and then, move up and really get a nice clean breakout and hold above the high right over here, which is going to be a 105.43, okay? That's going to be the really important move for Monero right now. If it takes a bit longer to do that, and it does end up doing it and breaks above that level, that's completely fine, right? What really matters now is that the next directional move is going to be to move above this 105 area, okay? So, like I said, I think that this is going to be an actual good type of consolidation for Monero, and it is actually going to move up in the near future. OmiseGO, okay, so this one has definitely been downtrending here, very, very clear downtrend, and in the shorter term, we do have a little bit of an uptrend going, so, I'll go ahead and draw these since I haven't yet. So we're going to have this sort of uptrend line right over here to pay attention to. And, this is tricky because you can draw this several ways, depending on how you do it. You could look at it just like this, and, this might be a bit more fair, or you could look at it like this, which that's not looking great, but to be honest, I'll leave it like this, right, to give it some benefit of the doubt, because we're definitely moving in a, if I was to draw a secondary uptrend, we definitely we have a little bit of an uptrend going over here with the lows of the candlesticks. Now, what's not great, and what may be why this is concerning right here, right, where we're below the uptrend line over here, is because we failed this. We had moved above the middle band right over here. We failed that, and now we're significantly below that, okay? So it's really rejecting this middle band. It's finding a lot of resistance there, which is normal. So now we're going to have to see, as the middle band comes into the uptrend, are we going to be able to break above or below, right? A very bullish sign on the indicator, though, is, let me see if I can draw a circle. Actually, I'm not even going to bother, but because it's pretty clear. But this is actually a really nice sign here for OmiseGO. Is, first of all, this now, it's been going on for a while, but we have a bit of an uptrend going on the histogram right over here. As you can see, the red bars over here have been moving up and have actually now crossed over into the positive range. So this is actually a great sign as far as technicals go. And MACD, also a really good sign here that's been happening. This has been a while in the making, but is this flattening out of the MACD and then the move above the orange line. Okay, this is a really good sign. This usually means that we came to the end of the downtrend, which would be this thing right here, and we're actually going to see a really nice move and start to move basically now in the upwards direction again. RSI kind of flat right now and it isn't really indicative of much. But like I said, we're just going to have to see now if we can break basically this lower high, right? As you can see, lower highs right here, and lower lows. Okay, that's the pattern that we're going to want to break. Now, we had a little bit of a double bottom over here, which is good. So basically, to recap you on all of this, what we want to see is, of course, we want to see it move above the high of today, which is 814, then above the high of the next day, which is 850. But the really important move is going to be a break above and a close on the candlestick above this high over here, which is $9.15. Okay, because as soon as we do that, we put in a higher low and a higher high. So now finally Lisk, to end this daily crypto update. Very similar price action to OmiseGO, which is funny. Pretty much same thing on all fronts, where we have our uptrending. Let me just draw this in so I won't have to do that for the next couple days. And by the way, if there are by any chance any other cryptocurrencies that you'd like me to add, let me know, but I want to stick with the more popular ones right now, right? I can't do all of them, right? There are some differences, and let me just point out the bullish signs. So like I said, uptrending histogram, exact same thing on the MACD, but the RSI is also looking just kind of flat and doesn't really give much indication. Now, here's where it gets interesting with Lisk, is price action wise and candlestick wise. Now, as you can see, I drew my candlestick on the top of this candle right here, but what's actually a more indicative is, if you look, we had broken out of this sort of downtrend right over here. We got a big breakout candlestick, right? This didn't actually hold, and we actually moved down from that, right? Got a bit of bounce on the middle band, which is good. Basically, if I put the downtrend line like this, it looks like we're in a symmetrical triangle formation. The bottom line is, and actually, which is fine, if this could actually be accurate, where we're going to bounce and then make a final decision. What I'm looking at now is, first of all, we want to hold above this middle band, which is at $4.95. That's for sure. We do want to try now to hold above this. But if we are in a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation, that's not something that we maybe should expect. Of course, we want to hold the multiple support level, lows that it put in here, which created a support level around, $4.40. That's definitely going to be the main support level to look at. And, it did put in sort of I think even a higher low over here. Let me see. Low of 409 here, and then over here. So yeah, actually we did put in already a higher low, which is good. And as you can see, it attempted, actually we did put in a higher high. Fair enough, we did put in a higher high. So this is actually what we want to see happen with OmiseGO. Lisk has already done that, right? The only thing is it did find a bit of a pullback, which is fine. We'll just want it now to, continue to bounce off this uptrend line and really break above this in a more concrete way, this downtrend line right over here. And basically, after that, I think we can expect it to move upwards, okay? So a bit of a short-term pullback here, but, based on the technicals and everything, it's looking like it shouldn't hold or be bearish, right? It's looking pretty bullish for Lisk overall. So, this pretty much concludes my daily crypto update. I hope you found this helpful. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did. Otherwise, everyone, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.